Okay, so we're recording. All right, so hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a day that is a long overdue video, and today's video is going to be how to score top 3 or at least make top 10 in the arcade in any edition of Dragon Ball Fighters. Now, this can be difficult because there are unsaid secrets about scoring in the game that I'm going to bring into truth today, or in other words, try to be clear on, so that way you can have an easier time in scoring and knowing what to expect instead of being heartbroken every single time. It pretty much lessens the amount of times you're heartbroken. So I'm going to pretty much show you, and it's 2025, so Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is out by now. So it is out by now, so you can... There's still people on here, by the way. I'm on PlayStation 4, but again, this works for any version. The reason why you would want to do this in today's game is because, like, you might be max rank already in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and usually people, like, you might not seem like it, but, like, people actually start, like, reaching in-game content and stuff like that with like season passes and Fortnite and stuff like that. And so these people grow bored, and when these people grow bored, they'll usually go play a retro game and start playing games and doing things and unlocking content they haven't done with other games they have done in the past. So for example, again, when like GTA 6 comes out, for example, what you're going to see is people complete the game, but then again, once you get those completionists that complete the game, they're going to go and look for another game to play, and there's a good chance it's going to be a retro game or they're waiting for another game to come out. So with that being said, as you can still see, there's an active population of here on the game right now, currently on PlayStation 4. I'm going to quickly show you my positioning. So here is my positioning. I'm number 2 currently. So any better would be world record. I would hold a world record in a category on the score. This is of all regions. There are different regions in the game. I'll show you that now. We have North America. I'm North American. So there's Asia, there's South America, Europe, and Oceania. And there are tons of players that play online. They go all the way up to Zeno and stuff like that. So again, I'm on the PlayStation 4 version, so I'm competing against PlayStation 4 Pro players. I think PS5 players can go back and play on the retro version as well. But enough of that and introducing who I am and my positioning in the game. Now it's time to actually show you how to score well in the arcade. And hopefully people later on can come out with videos that clean this up for people that like want to play the game before it goes down. There are some retro head gamers out there, people, seriously, like there are people that still play games like, for example, Phantasy Star Bluebirds, still like a private server I think that happens for Phantasy Star Universe and stuff like that. There's still games that, like, I think Mario Kart Wii, if you like hack it or something like that, they even still have like private servers and stuff like that on the game. So there's like, the point I'm getting across is like people still play retro games. The people that still play Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on PC and stuff like that, there's still people that play Halo on PC, the classic versions of Halo, alongside the Halo Infinite version and stuff like that. So getting into that's the reason why people still play this and why you might want to look into this video tutorial. So now actually getting into selecting a team. This is actually kind of important because here it's like the higher up you go, you need to start relying on Shenron every single time. And here's the thing, if you don't have a way to get past someone's guard and get the Dragon Ball, basically what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting predicted and then basically hit by a super move. You have to basically just spam the X button. I mean, not the X button, but the square. Well, whatever your mapped light attack is, you're basically going to end up relying on spamming that. If you don't have Gogeta to summon you, which he doesn't have to start. I don't recommend that he starts, but if you're really, really good, you can. So it's kind of pay to win. I will say that. I'm sorry, I might sound like I'm all over the place, but there's a lot to explain, and I'm trying to summarize that as much as possible. And let me actually make sure that the audio's fine, because you need to be focused on my voice. But basically, you want to design a team around Gogeta if possible. Again, because he allows you to summon the Dragon Balls without necessarily having to attack the AI, which is basically going to become extremely counter heavy as you continue to go up. That's all I'm getting at. And another thing we want to get out of the way early is that you pretty much, in order to score top 10 or in order to get a decent score, you need to score at least 40,000 points. You need to score at least 40,000 points, and from there it goes into the details. And so how you go into scoring a minimum of 40,000 points is, again, you need to summon Shenron every single time. And with that, how you go into using your wish affects your score. You do not need to use the ultimate power twice. You do not need to do that twice. You need to save your ultimate power attack for the end. And I need to get into that now because it gets harder to explain as you go forward. So again, you need Shenron, and ideally what leads you into scoring well is your health and your ending attack. And so what needs to happen is, ideally you need to keep green health. You don't want to take any damage, and ideally get the immortal finish. Now that becomes progressively difficult as you go up into the 5-star zone. Once you enter the 5-star zone, it becomes an all-out spam heavy AI, and it becomes extremely heavy to cheese that AI from an immortal finish, ultimate finish perspective. Again, so you need to, in order to score at least a 4,000, and you want to do this as many times as possible in order to get at least a top 10 record from what I showed you earlier. And I'll show you again once I finish. I'm not going to go through all 5 stages, but I'm going to give you an idea of what it's like to at least, what a minimum score is to get a decent placing at all, and at least in the PlayStation 4 version. And again, and this affects other versions, especially the Windows PC version. There aren't too many good players over there, and this will also likely affect the Xbox version as well. This might be different for the PS5. You might be required to play even more perfect, which again, you want to get the immortal ultimate finish, which I'll give you an idea on how to get. So again, it doesn't matter who you use, but ideally you want to have Gogeta in that lineup, and that's what the best teams seem to have. Either Gogeta Blue or Gogeta Red. And again, it's because the convenience of summoning Shenron without having to attack the opponent. You don't have to attack them. He does not have to land the attack for the Dragon Ball to come out. You need the Dragon Ball, and then again, you ideally need to get the ultimate finish. So I like Beerus. I like to start with Beerus.
Select your team.
I like to start with Beerus, and the reason why that is because he's a very, very good energy builder. Now, as you become more advanced, ideally you would like to start with Ultra Instinct Goku. Ideally, because he is more counter heavy than Beerus is. He can actually break through a guard as well. Goku can actually break through a guard without giving out the Dragon Rush. But ideally, you should use Gogeta in the lineup somewhere, and ideally he needs to be using the Pulse of Justice. And so again, what leads you to scoring well, at least in some of the stages that don't give you a lot of time to score well, what does that mean? Like, for example, here you don't have you need to start scoring well earlier, basically. But here you have more time. As the more stages there are, the more time there is to kind of like get warmed up. Does that make sense? And so again, what needs to happen here is you need to get at least a score of 44. I think it's 400,000 or 40,000. It needs to be a score of somewhere between. I'm pretty sure it's 400,000. Because when I look at it, I'm at 200 million. I'm sorry, not 200 million. I'm at 2 million. So you need to score at least 400,000, and at least to get the world record on PlayStation 4 in this course, you need to score at least 400,000, preferably 4 to 5 times, preferably. And again, to go about that, you need to summon Shenron every time, and you need to get at least a immortal finish. But starting, there's exceptions to that. So starting, there are exceptions. You are allowed to get hit a little bit, but as time goes progressively into the 4th stage and the 5th stage, getting hit is completely unacceptable. when going for world record at that point. That's all I wanted to get at. And actually, by the golden stage, by the third stage, getting hit is pretty much unacceptable as well. So I'll give you an idea with like preferably 2 stages.
This should be a great fight.
This is going to be really difficult to do because I'm doing this live. And when we're not trying to take any damage, the AI becomes extremely more intelligent as you continue to progress. By the way, so again, you need to, in order to score well, you need to finish with all 3 fighters, and you need to try to get the immortal ultimate finish. And when I say ultimate, that means you need to spark on the attack and have at least 3 to 2 of your teammates attack with you. So we're gonna try to build up as much energy as possible. I might take damage here at the start, but that's fine. But preferably you don't want to do that. So I actually have a lot of energy to start off with, and we actually have 5 of the Dragon Balls already, so that's really good. But you really don't want to get hit going on forward. So, alright, so right now, my guard would be broken if we were on the 5th level stage. But because we're just getting started, this is acceptable. And actually, you can get away with the immortal finish here, but you can't get hit anymore. So I won't get the perfect because I took too much damage, but I will still get the immortal finish, which will allow me to score at least somewhere around 40,000. 400,000, I'm sorry. Okay, so once we wish for immortality, again, this is where you see the ultimate immortal finish come into play. And this is where everyone needs to help out, if possible. Right, and so this is where you get the 40,000, somewhere around 4,200. And you have to use all 3 no, I shouldn't say have to, but you pretty much need to start using all 3 characters to finish it. As you continue to end. You need to do that as many times as possible. This is the ideal score for a world record. And again, and scoring like this becomes exceedingly more difficult towards the purple and red zones. So I can try to do this again. My best scoring like this with the immortal ultimate finish is 4,300 in the gold zone. 430,000. Yeah, 430,000 in the gold zone. So you can actually score a little bit higher than this, but again, it depends on your style and timing. But in order to get world record currently here on the PlayStation 4 version, this should be acceptable. But again, in order to get any decent placement as of now, you need to score at least 400,000. So if you didn't score this well and you're looking to get the top 3 position, you need to reset. If you did not get this score by now in the top 3 position, if you're going for a top 3 position, you need to reset. Or potentially score better. And this is where it becomes exceedingly more difficult because now they have more damage and resistance, and then they also have this counter heavy beast. So you can get hit here, ladies and gentlemen, but getting hit here is highly, and I mean highly, intolerable. And I'm going to stop after this next fight because I'm not going to work myself up to go for a world record right now. But I will try to give you a show one last time. So ideally, you want to keep, if you do get hit, you want to keep the damage below the B in Beerus. Or actually, you want to keep the damage above the R in Beerus if you do get hit. So right now what we're trying to do is build energy. I'm gonna play it safe here because we need to switch out. We really want to take care of Vegito first if possible. There's certain enemies that become extremely dangerous with tons of energy later on, and then it's basically unkillable. He is one of those ones you don't want to give a level 3 finisher to. Hopefully Goku doesn't get hit here. Good, very, very good. So we'll actually get the immortal finish here, but it depends. We need Gogeta's help for sure. Ooh, he's really good. We need to hurry up. We might not get it. Oh, that's really, really bad. We might get away with this. So the reason why we might score 4,300 here is because we have minimum damage, but that is unacceptable for sure in the gold zone. That amount of damage is definitely unacceptable in the gold zone. And it might even be unacceptable here depending on how much you scored in the first round. Yeah, so that's acceptable. But again, if you score any high, you can't, basically, again, you cannot get hit like that anymore going on forward. And there's one more conditioning. Again, here you preferably need to end with an immortal finish again. And in the next 2 stages, again, no, I'm sorry, I confused a lot. You need to try to end with an immortal finish going on forward. After a certain point, again, chat, getting hit in the purple and red zones become extremely unacceptable. But the circumstances become so unbearable. It's like there are so few people that end like that, and that's why I'm like, you might not have that problem on the PlayStation 5 version, but there might be some extremely hard tryhards over there that have done the immortal finish in the red zone with all 3 characters with the ultimate finish again, and that might be the world record and why it's so hard to get. But this is an idea of what you need to score again in order to get there. Again, losing any fighters is unacceptable. Let alone getting hit is practically unacceptable around this time. You need to at least get a stylish finish if you do get hit. And I'm telling you, if you don't get the immortal finish, there's a good chance you're gonna have to reset in the next stage because we got hit here. And again, at some point, again, getting hit is completely unacceptable when scoring a 400,000. That's all I'm getting at. In order to score a 400,000, you need to really minimize the damage that you take, and on top of that, get the ultimate finish. You need to try to involve all 3 fighters in the ultimate finish if possible. Again, and this becomes exceedingly more difficult because they become more and more resilient and powerful as you continue to progress in the stages. So that's pretty much the end of the tutorial before things start getting pretty dark. This is the golden side of things, but this is where things get really, really bad because you need, at this point, you pretty much need to know who does what. If you run into this combination, Master Roshi needs to go first. And the reason why that is because he has an extremely mean get-up attack. Believe it or not, the amount of super armor Master Roshi carries on get up is when you're trying to not take any damage it's unfathomable. When you're just trying to win, it's not that bad to deal with. When you're trying to get the immortal finish, again, you don't want to deal with that. And my ego's in play, so I really don't want to get hit. So we're going to quit out here. So again, that's just an idea of how to score very, very well. And again, I'm going to show you my placing and my tag again after this. I actually scored really, really well online on the Windows version as well. So that's what also makes me pretty much credible when it comes down to scoring. In this game, this is an overdue review, not review, but tutorial. And many people probably would get into the arcade if they actually knew what they were doing, but because not too many people know how to score well here, considering I'm not like ultra smart and I score pretty well. Again, this is me and my gamer tag with the placement here. I made the front page. I'm top 3. I actually have other high level placings in other categories. I'll show you those as well. So I made top 100 here. I used to be top 20. Number 27 here. I'm still top 100. One of these, I'm number 8 in the world. There's still a lot of people that play the game. I'll show you where I'm number 2 at out of 3. I think it's like 300,000 players. Okay, so I was using different names. I think it's a Snake Way Random, or I'm number 8 in the world. Yeah, here's where I'm number 8. So again, so when it comes down to credibility and understanding how to score high, even though I might not be top 3 all the time, that's pretty much what it is you need to score somewhere around 400,000 plus. And how you do that is about going about the Immortal Ultimate Finish. And when it comes down to playing online, I want to emphasize this. It becomes significantly more difficult to play like that online. It becomes tremendously more difficult because you start adding in frame rate delays and a couple other factors as well. The frame rate delay exists because it exists based on your network color and rank, and then also your networking is your network alone also makes a difference as well, and how many games you have to play against who again. So that's just an idea of how to score in the arcade in Dragon Ball Fighters. Now the game might go offline at some point because it does cost to run a service like this, but at least this gives you an idea of how to make a name before the servers actually go offline. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Be notified if any more Dragon Ball content that I make comes out, because I do like making content and stuff like that. Take care, and you'll all see me next time.